know who should be the next king after he passes away. Now, he had 3 sons. He had the eldest son, who was very wise. And he had a second son who thought he was also wise. But they kind of laughed at the third brother. In fact, they called him Dumbling. Now, the king tried to think of, how should I decide? And he came up with an idea. Let's do some challenges. Who can win? Okay? They all wanted to be king, right? So he called them all outside. And the king says, whoever can bring back to me the most beautiful tapestry carpet in the whole world will be king. Oh. And he says, first, let me take 3 feathers, and I'm going to blow them up into the air, and whatever direction they go, you will follow to find it. So he blew them up in the air, and the first one went straight to the east, and the oldest son took off. Now the second one went straight to the west, and the second son followed it. And the third one he blew up, and it came right down. Well, those older brothers, they were laughing. They're like, ha, 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 how will Dumbling find anything if he has to stay right here? Dumbling sat down. He was pretty sad. He wasn't really sure what he was going to do. And as he sat there looking, the feather landed very near. What was that? A trap door? He went over, he looked, and he pulled on it. Oh, why, there's stairs going down into the ground. Don't go in there. But Dumbling says, this is where the feather fell. And so Dumbling started down the stairs. Now they were steep, and they were slimy and sticky and dark and narrow. And he went all the way down until he came to a door. At the door, he knocked, because he has good manners. And on the other side, he hears, little green frog maiden, hopping here, hopping there, hop to the door and see who's there. And all of a sudden, the door opened. And there was this very large old frog. And all around this frog were little frogs hopping about. They asked Dumbling, what is it we can do to help you? Dumbling came in and he was like, well, I have a challenge. I'm trying to find the most beautiful tapestry carpet in the whole world. Little green maiden, hopping here, hopping there, hop over to that large bag and bring it over. And she opened up the bag and she lifted out this most beautiful carpet. Oh my, Dumbling thought that was amazing. She handed it to him, take it to the king, and away he went. Now he climbed back up, came out of the trapdoor, and yet his brothers arrived also. How did they get back so fast? Well, he showed the carpet to his father. Oh my, the king was amazed. It was absolutely beautiful. Now, the brothers, they never thought that Dumbling could do much. And in fact, they were really disrespectful to him. They just went out and found a shepherd out in the pasture and actually took his coat. It was like good enough. And they brought it, and it was not fine at all. But guess what? They're like, no, Father. You can't let Dumbling win. He can't be king. They threw a fit, and they whined so much. The king was like, fine, you give me no peace. come out of the palace, and the king has how many feathers?
3.
3. He takes those feathers, he blows them into the air. He says, whoever can bring back the most beautiful ring in the whole world will be king. And the first feather went to the east, and there went the oldest son. And the second feather went to the west, and there went the second son. And the final one came right back down. Again. So Dumpling, it worked the first time, right? It came down real near that little trap door. Sure enough, he went over there. He went right down those stairs. He knocked at the door again. On the other side, what did he hear? Little green maiden frog. Hopping here, hopping there. Hop to the door and see who's there. Sure enough, the door opened, and there sits the big frog again. Well, how may we help you? And Dumpling is like, well, I'm supposed to find the most beautiful ring, like the most amazing ring in the whole world. Can you help me? Well, let's see. Little green maiden frog, hopping here, hopping there, hop on over to that big bag and bring it out to me. And so they did. She opened up that bag and she reached way down deep and she pulled out the most pure golden ring ever seen. Oh, Dumpling thought that was amazing, absolutely amazing. And she said, here, take it to the king. And so he did. He went right up there, and his brothers were back already too. How could they have found something so quickly? Well, the king was beyond amazed when he saw this ring. He had never seen something so fine. Why, you are the winner. And yet, what did the older brothers say?
They were saying, Dum, or whatever it is.
Dumpling.
Dumpling could not be the king because he was so dumb, and they thought that they found a better ring, and they showed the king and then said, nope, those are ugly, and I choose Dumpling.
Exactly. You know what kind of ring he had? They brought? Why, they just went out to the field and took some rings off of the harness of the horses. Those aren't special, are they? Yeah. Well, but the king was like, but Dumpling has found the most beautiful. And they threw a fit. They whined and they complained. And they were just nasty. Until the king finally was like, fine, you give me no peace. We will do another challenge. How many challenges did they need to do?
What, 1,000?
But the king says, whoever can find the most beautiful maiden, princess in the whole world will win. Well, you think that those older brothers who are very handsome, very smart, do you think they would win?
No.
Do you think they thought they would?
Yes.
Yes, they would. Now, but Dumpling, well, he didn't have a chance, did he? Well, there we go. The father says, here we go. We got 3 feathers. And he blows them up in the air. And the first one goes to the east, and there goes the first son. And the second to the west, and there goes the second son. And the final one goes up and comes right back down. Now those brothers, they looked behind, and they just laughed. How is he going to find a beautiful maiden right here? That's going to be impossible. They're not worried. They just go on out and start looking. Now Dumpling is like, well, I'm not sure how this is going to work out. But he goes on over to that trap door and he creaks it open and he goes on down. He knocks at the door. It gets open. And there, what does he find?
The big one.
The big frog. And all the little frogs around. And they're like, so what can we do? How can we help you? He goes, well, I'm supposed to find the most beautiful maiden princess in the whole world. Can you guys help me? Well, the old frog says, I don't have one right now, but soon. Dumpling wasn't really sure what she meant by that. And so she said, little green Megan frog, hop in here, hop in there, hop on over to that bag and bring it to me. Oh. So they bring the bag. She looks at the bag. She pulls out a pumpkin. A pumpkin that's been scooped out. A pumpkin that has 6 little mice in harnesses. And she hands it to Dumpling. Now, Dumpling is very kind and has good manners. And he says, thank you. You think he's kind of wondering what this is going to work? Yeah. So the old frog says, just scoop up one of these little frogs, put it in the pumpkin. Okay, he scoops up a little frog, puts it in the pumpkin, and boom! That pumpkin becomes a beautiful carriage. And all those little mice become beautiful horses. And inside the carriage is the most beautiful princess you've ever seen. So Dumpling says, thank you. He hops in the carriage, he kisses the princess, and away they go, and they ride to the palace. Now when he arrives, the king is, well, he's beyond impressed. He can't believe this. He's like, Dumpling, you are the new king. And what did those brothers bring? Why, they just went out to the field and they found some peasant women and they just brought them on in. Now, did they accept Dumpling being the winner? No. They whined about it. They complained about it. They threw a fit. And they said, Father, it's not fair. And so, one more try. And Father was like, fine, what do you suggest? Well, in the palace dining room, there is this big, beautiful golden ring hanging from the ceiling. Now, whichever maiden can leap through it beautifully wins. Because they knew we have peasant women who are strong and agile, and they will win. We know it. And so the first peasant woman, she leaped, and she got caught, and she fell, and she broke her arm. Oh, no. Well, the next peasant woman, she took a run out, and she leaped, and she got caught up too, and she, broke her leg. Oh, but as they looked, as the princess got out of the coach, she was very delicate and beautiful. And what did she do? But she started to do this leaping, hopping, beautiful through the ring and came down perfectly. Why do you think she could hop so well?
Because she was a frog.
Ooh, they didn't know that, did they? And the king says, it's over. Dumpling and his princess wife will rule, and they did for years to come with wisdom and kindness. They were wonderful.